How has your year been? Welcome to the show. I really do want to know, how has the past year of your life been? And I'm guessing no matter how good or bad you think it's actually been even better than you actually remember. And that's why on today's episode, I'm going to be going over why it's so important that you actually recognize how great of a year you actually had. Because if you're not owning that and seeing that and utilizing that, you're basically saying, I want to have a way more challenging year than I need to. And there's no reason for that. So, if you want to have the easiest, most incredible, most enjoyable year that you've had so far in your life, you're not going to want to miss this episode. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. So, what do I mean by you probably had a much better year than you recognize? Well, this is going to be a real key to loving your year, loving yourself, and loving what's coming up before you. So, this is something that I've been practicing for a very long time. And I'm also going to tie it in with one of the most popular topics that I've ever covered on this show. And I think you're going to see how simple yet how powerful it is in making you have the life that you actually want to have instead of just having the life that you seem to get, whether you want it or not. Because you want the life you want, right? Not just the life you got. If you're happy with the life you got, then why are you listening to this? I would love to, yeah, let me know. I'd love to hear why you're listening to this. If you're like, you just like my beautiful face or the sound of my voice. Uh, anyway, what we're talking about is, first off, have you actually looked back at what happened in the past year? Because I'm recording this before 2025 is over. It's going to come out just right before Christmas. So many of you might be listening to this, leading into the new year. Yet whether you're listening to this at that time or maybe sometime in the middle of the year, whenever you're listening to this, it's always a good time to look back on what's been going on, and especially at the end of the year. Because when you actually look back at what has happened, you're going to realize that you've probably accomplished and experienced a whole lot more than you've allowed yourself to remember. And you're also going to recognize that it wasn't all smooth sailing, that you might have had some issues, some challenges. And despite all that, you still had the experiences and the triumphs and the great experiences and loves and connections that you ultimately ended up having. Again, this doesn't mean that the year was easy and that everything went your way. There could have been all sorts of horrible things. Yet, what I'm arguing is it was better than you likely remember. So, how do you actually remember all of this? And so, for many people, this is going to be simple. For others of you, this might require, maybe adopting one new simple but also helpful habit. And that habit or that thing that is going to be really easy is to go and just review your calendar. So if you're like me and many other people, and you keep a calendar, I use Google Calendar. However you keep a calendar, maybe it's the old school paper calendar. Was it Franklin Covey or whoever it was? But basically, whatever way that you were able to make sure that you showed up for appointments, showed up for meetings, showed up for the airport, and showed up for dates and gatherings and whatnot, like that's basically most of what happened in the past year, right? So I've done this every year for, I don't know, well over a decade. Like originally, it was something I had to do as part of working, at a corporate job where every year they're like, well, we got to do self-assessment time. And basically they had me, they had all of us where I, worked for 10 years initially at my first company, is you rewrite your own self-assessment. And then basically you go through it with your manager and he kind of goes, okay, yeah, that's what you did. And here's what I think about it. Um, but it's like, well, yeah, what did I do? And so I would go through my calendar and it's like, oh yeah, I worked on that project, or, oh yeah, I went on that trip. And it's like, so it's like going through my own personal calendar and I'm like, oh yeah, I went to Guatemala in April and I had this great Yellowstone Grand Tetons trip and went to Cancun or no, didn't it wasn't Cancun, it was Cabo San Lucas. Like I always get they're opposite sides of Mexico. I get them confused because they're both C words. Um, but they're not hairy C words. Some of you will find that funny. But it's like, oh yeah, I had these great events. And the thing is not everything that happened to you is going to be in your calendar, but it's going to jar your memory. Because when I was going through those trips, I also remember like, oh yeah, right after that Guatemala trip, I was really sick. I had a crazy stomach bug for an entire week where I was basically just staying at home and staying on the toilet, if you know what I mean. Yeah, the old-fashioned Hershey squirts will get you every time. I'm telling you. So, it's like, oh yeah. And then, oh, right, a week before I went to the Cabo trip, I was also like horribly, horribly ill, like a fever, a headache, like I wasn't moving. And there was another period where it was after the Grand Tetons, the Yellowstone trip. I think that one, I don't know, there was another where I was out for a week. So I had like 3 weeks of the year where I was horribly, horribly sick. It's like, oh, and still with all of that, like I had my new energy practice, the life energy activation process that I started to get out to people, and I did multiple events with that, taught lots of people. I had the audio cues, audio created, and people are loving it. I got so many amazing testimonials of how it impacts them, how they feel calm, how they feel grounded, and just how it makes them just feel great for even just a few minutes at a time. And I know many of these people and gotten to see like the shifts that have happened in their life. Uh, and so like I see the these challenges, and then I see, oh, what I was still able to overcome. And even the challenge of being sick, I kind of recognize like, oh wait, I handled that differently than I had in the past. Like I was able to handle it by shifting my diet and getting lots of rest instead of just, okay, well, let me just medicate myself and power through. I was able to actually like, care for myself and let myself rest and heal. So even seeing some of these times where it was, oh, I got knocked down, but really it was a learning experience, and it was a part of my growth and part of my amazing story for the year. And so, but just by going through your calendar and just kind of like recognizing, and what I like to do, and we're going to be tying this in with how going through this is very key to one of the most favorite episodes is episode 35, and we talked about it on episode 100. And I can't believe that was, that's not the only 100 episode celebration that I've had to have, because I just remembered this year I celebrated 200 episodes of doing this show. That was this year. So like there's another thing that I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I've been doing this podcast. And we started just just doing on audio, and then at some point added the video and been on YouTube. And thank you to those that do like and subscribe on YouTube, because I've been very, very happy with all the interactions and things that have gotten to come through the YouTube following. So definitely appreciate that. But it's like I like to sometimes put these things into categories, and you can change the categories based on what's appropriate for you. But I like, having things to do with health and wellness. I like to talk about trips and adventures that I've had, things to do with relationships, right? Because a lot of times, many people, it's like I could use some, more connections that are of good quality and beneficial. So it's like, what changed in the realm of relationships? Did you maybe end a relationship? Because, one of the challenges I had was, my sister passed away. And so then started to have a little bit more contact with my father, and then got reminded that, oh, to me, he's just not a good person for me to be around. And it's like, love him, hope he's happy with the people he's got in his life. I'm very, want nothing but the best and the happiness, but just like that guy, the way he is, not for me. Grateful for all the stuff he's done for me, yet I'm going to do my own thing. He can do his thing, and that's great. And seeing how great that can be for both of us, and how that's resulted in me having some of the best experiences with other people, or just by being with myself. And okay, so relationships is a very important category that a lot of people forget. Like what was the nourishing times, or what were the ways that you deepened the relationship with yourself, respected yourself, had some boundaries, right? Then maybe things to do with like your home, your car, or I don't know, tangible things. Because sometimes it's kind of like cool, like, oh, I got my dream car, or oh, I had all these issues with my home. Like it's funny. Like I look at what happened with where I live, and it's like had a major gas leak. I've had electrical outages. I think probably at least 4 times this year. Currently, I'm having some heater issues, and it's just like, wow, is this stuff's going on, and it's like that had to be taken care of. And like, how's my business going, or how's your career? And then I think a really fun, important one is like, what are the skills and growth areas that you've gotten? Adventures, put fun stuff. Like I enjoy movies, so I started like going and seeing like what movies did I see this year, and I was like, oh yeah, and it reminded me of all these good times that I had, going to see these movies. Did I like every movie I saw? No, but it was just like, it was an experience getting to be part of culture and things happening. So even just maybe when you hear me talking about those categories, you start to think of things that have been happening for you in the past year, and some of them good, some of them not so good. Yet you're starting to have ideas, and this is where it becomes really important of what lens you look at these through. And it's important to look at it through the lens of self-love, like being a really, really loving person to yourself. Now, switch gears a little bit to how you can basically love your year by loving yourself. And again, it doesn't really matter what year you're talking about, if it's the past year or the upcoming year. If you love yourself, you're gonna love all of it and everything in between. And I first learned this concept from a book called "Love Yourself Like Your Life Depends on It" by Kamal Ravikant. So again, like I, shared a meditation in episode 35. Definitely go check it out. It was called the guided I love myself meditation. That's the name of the episode if you want to go try to find it. But in this book, is I think he's like a Silicon Valley tech executive type guy that was just miserable. And at some point, he's just like, I gotta love myself like my life depends on it, because he started being like, I think I've had enough of life. And it's one of those that I can totally relate. But to me, I'm always just like, why should I do more work, right? I feel like I've done plenty of hard work. That just seems like one more chore on the to-do list. Which it's like it's a little light, but it is also kind of true and heavy. That like it's like shit, like I got all these other things to do, and I do ultimately enjoy living my life and love myself enough that I want to keep going and have more adventures. And when I look back on my year, and there hasn't been a year I haven't done this and looked backward, I'm going, fuck, what an incredible year. I can't believe I thought I didn't do enough, that I wasn't good enough, that I was, somehow less than because I didn't do all these other things. Because do you recognize that, yeah, you want to scale Mount Everest, whatever that is for you, and maybe you didn't reach Mount Everest, but if you look and see the vertical feet equivalent of what you've done, you've scaled Mount Everest maybe two, three, 4 times. Just a lot of that was you ended up in a deep valley or a pit, and you had to crawl yourself out of that. And like be like, but I didn't make it Everest. But you know what? You'll learn how to get out of it, and you might, and then if you're really paying attention, you've learned how to avoid those pitfalls in the future, and you've made some headway. You've made some headway toward getting to your Mount Everest, and you're comparing yourself to other people that, yeah, they might have made it, but where did they start out, and what was their journey? And because it's like, again, if you just take a helicopter to the top of Mount Everest, I don't even know if that's possible, allowed, whatever. But that ain't what they write fucking books about. I took a helicopter to Everest, tipped off, had a selfie, a Diet Coke, got on the helicopter and left. It was beautiful. It was a wonderful hour. Like, nobody's making a movie about that, writing a book about that. Nobody's brag. There's probably people that would brag about it, but are these people you want to know? I don't want to know these people. The fact is that the journey is a big part of it. And, loving yourself and the journey that you've had, and loving yourself to go, let's see how I can make this journey even better. I've had a good journey. I had some good experiences. I'm gonna love myself to keep going and find even more enjoyable ways to go ahead. So basically, this Kamal Ravikant discovers that, like, hey, I think if I don't love myself, I'm not going to be alive anymore. And then that was his truth. But the truth is that how you love yourself really is going to dictate the quality of the life that you're going to have. Because if you love yourself, You're gonna you're gonna more often than not give yourself a life that is enjoyable to live. If you don't, you're gonna give yourself shit sandwiches, left, right, up, down, center. And it's one of those things I look back and recognize all these harmful, you know, self-beliefs that I've had about myself, and it's like that explains why things went how they went. And the more that I've owned that, hey, I'm worthwhile, I'm a lovable person, the more that I've made choices and set boundaries and then made allowances for the things that are helpful and nourishing, and things have shifted. Does it all happen overnight? No. Does it get better and better? Yes. Does it get easier? Yes. Does it get filled with more amazing people as you go on? Yes. And so, what if how you love yourself is the most important thing in almost anything? Just a month ago, about as within, so without, talking about self-sustainability, your ability to love yourself is a really big, important part of your self-sustainability, because that's going to fuel you, energize you, give you the lens to see things in a way that are going to make it more enjoyable and energizing to continue doing what it is you want. And you're going to lovingly allow yourself to have what you actually want in a way that you can actually enjoy. Because if you don't like yourself and you get what you want, there's no shortage of ways. And I've done this so many times of like, it's like, oh, I got a best-selling novel or book. It's not a novel, but I don't know. Yeah, a best-selling book. And my ability to go like, yeah, but it didn't sell as many copies as I wanted it to. And like, oh, it's only in this one category. And oh, I self-published with the hybrid publisher, and so it's not like if I got published and it wasn't New York. Like, there's all these ways to shit on anything amazing that we do. Yet, what good does that do? What good does that do? Like, again, maybe it makes you do a lot of things, but if you don't enjoy it, never will enjoy it, what's the point? What is the point of doing all of these things? I do all the things and you're miserable and you make everyone around you miserable. Who cares? Who cares? Honestly, what matters is how much are you able to enjoy your experience along the way? That really kind of is it. And doing good things and enjoying them, they can go together. They should go together. They're supposed to go together. And so, how can you work on loving yourself a little bit more? One is you can go and check out that meditation from episode 35 about the, loving yourself meditation. The others is just as often as you can, replacing whatever nonsense you're likely thinking about with just the thought, I love myself. I love myself. Like, oh, that jerk just cut me off while I'm driving. I love myself. What's this bill? Oh, I love myself. I love myself. Oh, this broke again. I love myself. Oh no, it's raining. I love myself. And just see how that starts to allow a little opening, a little air, a little shift in your life, in your vision, in just your whole way of being. And if you really want something really challenging, something really advanced, something incredibly powerful that I really don't recommend this to most of you. Yet it is so incredibly powerful that if you can do it, this is one of those things like you might want to have a coach, a therapist, a good friend, a clergy person on hand because this can bring up a lot. So I'm going to advise you to avoid this. Yet I'm going to put this out there as something to be aspirational towards, and that is saying I love myself in the mirror. So look yourself in the mirror, say, I love myself. I love you. I love, and say your name. Again, don't do this. Avoid this. Definitely don't do this. Start with just 1 minute. And then each day, maybe add one more minute. And then just once you get to 10 minutes a day, if you can do that 10 minutes a day, where you can look yourself in the mirror for 1 to 10 minutes and be able to say, I love myself. I love you. I love you, man. You're beautiful. And just be with that. Woo! Ooh! Things are gonna shift in you, and boy, is your year gonna shift. If you can then, that person can look at what you've done in the past year Because again, this really is about, it doesn't matter what your parents were like, what your siblings were like, what your friends have been like, what your significant others have been like, as awful and as shitty or as good or as amazing. If you can become the most amazing parent, sibling, lover, friend to yourself, whoo, and just wait and see what comes at you. Just wait. Look at what you did in the past year, and then think of how what you want to happen the next year, and just let the magic happen. So this is really about you love yourself, you love your last year, and then love your upcoming year even more. That's the space to start dreaming, to start going, ooh, what could I enjoy? And just allow yourself to just enjoy the vision, enjoy feeling what it might be like for all these things, and recognize you have so much now. You've had so much, you have so much, and that you will continue to have even more, and just let it be. And that's my gift to you, my wish for you this holiday season. This Yeah, so just I love you. Thank you for being a listener, and I want you to be able to love yourself as much as is possible. So with that, love to hear what's maybe been something in the past year that you're just like, fuck, thank you so much, Justin, for asking that question. I'd forgotten that this happened. And yeah, that was an incredible year this past year. So thank you so much. Would love to hear it. Send me an email, put a comment on the social media, whatever. And yeah, looking forward to wishing you a happy new year, uh, whenever this might be. So with that, thank you and good day. Thanks for tuning in to Engineering Emotions and Energy with Justin Wenck, Ph.D. Today's episode resonated with you? Please subscribe and leave a 5-star review. Your feedback not only supports the show, but also helps others find us and start their journey of emotional and energetic mastery. You can also help by sharing this podcast with someone you think will love it just as much as you do. Together, we're engineering more amazing lives.